For this review we're looking at a Liebherr crane mounted on a truck, and it's a Volvo truck. And this is the Liebherr LTF 1060 4.1. The 1060 indicates it's got a lifting capacity of a maximum of 60 tonnes, and the 4 indicates it's on 4 axles. This model is in the colours of the Irish company McNallys. Out of the box the crane is ready reeved, but to get it ready for the road we need to kit it up. And the first thing we'll do is put the counterweight on, which goes at the middle of the carrier, and it goes there to equalise the axle loading when the crane is on the road. After that there's only one other thing to attach, and that's the lattice fly jib. It is a little bit fiddly to get into position, but once you get it there you can secure it in place with a steel pin. And that's good because even if you then raise the boom, the lattice jib will stay attached. Looking underneath, the chassis is very nicely modelled and there's a clear exhaust system and different tyres on the driven and steering axles. The Volvo cab is nicely rendered and there's a realistic number plate and also a loop to tie on the hook during transport. The wheels are nicely detailed, but not so good are the outrigger pistons, which can't be raised above the level shown here, so they sit a bit too low. One very nice aspect of the model is the McNallys livery with its detailed graphics. And there are small graphics on the outriggers as well, including a nice storage basket on the front outriggers. The crane cab is very detailed with Liebherr on the seat back, and hydraulic hoses add interest. At the back the counterweight is made up of 3 separate pieces. The boom sections have a nice fin wall profile, and they have both McNallys and wind hoist graphics. The lattice jib is nicely made and there's a hoist cut-off chain and decent metal hook. The crane has made its way to the Cranes Etc. test track, so let's give it a push. And it doesn't mind getting pushed around because it rolls quite nicely. Like many WSI models, the steering doesn't have a big range of movement, but as always, something is better than nothing. After arriving on site, the first thing to do is have a nice hot drink, and then we can decide to get on with some work by opening up the outriggers. They have an unusual fold-out configuration on this model, and they also have a short telescopic extension. One nice touch is the outrigger pads, which can be moved from a transport to an in-service position. And also included are small pins so you can lock the pad in a service position. The pads can be lowered by screwing them down and revealing a smooth piston, and small plastic spreader plates are also supplied, and the whole system can hold the model wheels free. It's on to the crane driver's favourite action, which is raising his boom. And for some reason on this model the boom action was extremely jerky. With the crane set up we can now swing the body around to pick up its own counterweight. And on the real crane the body is positioned over the counterweight and it picks it up hydraulically. But the tolerances don't quite work on the model, so you have to fit the counterweight by hand. So after a quick hand job we can then see how we can get on with lowering the winch. And a small weight is included with the model to help keep tension on the ropes. A special key is also provided to operate the winch drum, but this feature doesn't work quite so well because with a fully reeved hook, there's not enough weight for the hook to lower itself. So we need to give it a bit of help and pull it down. Extending the boom is smooth and each section has a locking pin, so you can lock it at the maximum position. With that said, there's enough friction between the sections to pose the boom at any extension. Moving on to a couple of other features, and there's a nicely tilting Volvo cab with a Volvo engine underneath. After closing the cab up we'll move on to the other cab, and that has a couple of features. There's an extending access platform that can just pull out from underneath, and it also tilts nicely. One other feature for the crane is to add the fly jib. It opens up and is pinned to give extra reach, and it fits over the top of the boom head where it's held in place by a couple of large steel pins. It also has some additional functionality. There's a guide pulley which can pull out to direct the hoist rope. And that's there because you can adjust the angle of the fly jib because it's controlled by a hydraulic cylinder. This is another very nicely detailed Liebherr crane model by WSI, and it comes in the well-known and collectible livery of McNallys. This model first appeared in Liebherr colours several years ago, and aspects of the functionality could be improved, but overall it still just qualifies as an outstanding model.